Hello everyone, today we will continue to analyze theories about the third season of Squid Game. In this video, we will analyze how In-ho can betray the games and help Ki-hoon destroy them, or how history can repeat itself and Ki-hoon will become the new host. If you haven't watched the last video, be sure to watch it. It was very interesting. And here we go. Enjoy watching. I am absolutely convinced that in the third season, the host will betray his organization. There is plenty of evidence for this. We know that In-ho loved his wife very much, and after her death he lost his taste for life. He deliberately spared Chung-ho on the island, shooting so as not to arouse suspicion, and ordered the captain to find his brother immediately after he fell from the cliff. Judge for yourself what the probability is. A random boat with a captain who already works for the host finds Chung-ho at the most opportune moment. The host himself organized everything, and I believe that deep down he still has tender feelings for his late wife, mother, and brother, which means he retains the remnants of humanity. In addition, I am convinced that the host is the initiator of the organ trade. From the cemetery scene with Chun-ho, we learn that In-ho's wife died of liver disease, and his death hit In-ho hard. Although he won the games and got a lot of money, he still could not save his wife and child, perhaps because he could not find a suitable donor. This is certainly a severe psychological trauma, knowing that no one is willing to sacrifice themselves for the sake of an expectant mother. In-ho no longer believes in kindness and humanity. In general, this justifies his way of thinking, according to which gamblers and people with large debts are considered second-class creatures and can be freely destroyed for organs. Or maybe In-ho got into the games wanting to get the liver of one of the former players for his wife. Or maybe it was too late then, and he wanted to save other players from the same fate. This theory has all the grounds. Before the relay, In-ho slaps himself and calls himself useless. Such feelings are understandable. He feels like a loser for letting his wife die. Judging by the way the host treated the doctor who colluded with the guards in the first season, maybe he doesn't want to help anyone anymore. But I'm still sure that he was the one who started the organ trade. After all, they don't just trade for nothing. The process is well organized and requires a lot of investment. This theory also explains why In-ho stayed in the game. He wanted to find a liver, but after his wife died, he felt that he had no reason to return home. But whatever the reason that brought In-ho to the game, to save his wife or to get organs to save others, now he no longer believes in humanity. A small detail in the second season that everyone seems to have missed: the new games are held on the 5th anniversary of the death of In-ho's wife, which means she died in 2018 or later, and the host won the games in 2015. It turns out he had money on hand to save her. So why in the first season Chun-ho discovered that his brother lived in a cheap hotel and barely paid the rent on time? Why didn't he spend the money to save her? Well, maybe in the third season we will find out that the host, like Ki-hoon, considered himself guilty of the deaths of other players, was a person with high moral principles, and therefore could not use the money. The creator of the Squid Game mentioned that the host has a bright side, and to some extent he likes Ki-hoon's company. In the 6th episode of the second season, we see a turning point that reflects the complexity of the host's character and the 3 different personalities that live within him. In the door game, players had to gather in groups of a certain size and lock themselves in rooms. In the round where there must be no more than 2 people in the room, the host kills someone without thinking or blinking an eye to fulfill the requirements. In this scene, all 3 personalities of the host are visible. The experienced policeman In-ho, which he once was, the Squid Game participant Yeon-il, who wants to survive at any cost, and the host himself, a cold, calculating leader who is ready to do anything to maintain control of the situation. The creator of the series also confirmed that Ki-hoon's unwavering hope and compassion certainly influenced the host. At certain moments, you can feel that he is really enjoying the game, happy or nervous. The host pretended to be a player, wanting to directly manipulate Ki-hoon and change his attitude toward the world, but subconsciously admires a person who is unwilling to give up on his hopes. After all, such was the policeman named In-ho. According to the creator of the Squid Game, Ki-hoon's love for people is so infectious that deep down In-ho wishes for him to win the games. In an interview, the director of the Squid Game said that In-ho and Ki-hoon have completely opposite views on saving human lives. It seems to me that In-ho will try to finally break Ki-hoon's spirit and destroy his hopes, but this will lead to the opposite result. Ki-hoon's belief that people are worth saving is too strong. In-ho has a strange interest in Ki-hoon and his life philosophy. philosophy, perhaps because this philosophy echoes his own. Perhaps the host is ready to believe in humanity again, and it is Ki-hoon who will be able to awaken in him the person who was once a donor himself. The climax of the show could be the MC's decision to use the explosives that were talked about in Season 1 and wipe out everyone, including the VIPs. You might ask why? Because the VIPs don't let him into their circle, and In-ho is acting isolated, like he's trying to contain his rage. Basically, he might betray his organization. Of course, Ki-hoon will try to convince In-ho to change his mind and not blow everything up. But after everything that happened before, I don't believe the MC will be alive at the end of the story. And then this is what will happen. Ki-hoon will put an end to the Hunger Games. In the finale, he will find the island and save the surviving players. The Avengers from the Squid Game world will take over the island, and the culmination of the season will be Ki-hoon's decision about the fate of the host and maybe even the VIPs. It is possible that Ki-hoon will again show mercy and give the prize money to the families who lost loved ones in the games, and then go to his mother's grave, where he will receive a call from an unknown number. He will immediately panic, suspecting that the organizers of the game have found him again. But instead, he will hear the voice of his child on the phone. Ki-hoon will finally feel that he is worthy of meeting his daughter, and an expression of true happiness will appear on his face. Blackout, credits. Yes, this would be a good ending for the series, but I do not believe in it. I believe that the denouement will be much darker. For example, Ki-hoon will become the new host. Recently, the actor who plays Ki-hoon was on Jimmy Fallon, and when asked if he would be the next host, he pressed both buttons at the same time. What if after taking over the island, Ki-hoon forces the VIPs and guards to compete against each other with no real chance of winning in a brutal and crazy manner, just like the show? Ki-hoon has already shown that the good in him quickly fades. He does not notice that some of the players died in the night clash and considers them a necessary sacrifice. It is also possible that Ki-hoon will win the games a second time, but after everyone around him dies again, he will finally break down, and this will be the worst possible option for him. The games will continue. Ki-hoon will lose faith in humanity, and history will repeat itself. Ki-hoon will become the next host. What will this lead to? In-ho will manage to destroy Ki-hoon morally. Guard number 11 and player 246 will team up with Chun-ho and the military to save Ki-hoon. After taking over the island, Ki-hoon will either show mercy to the frontman and the VIPs or decide to go on a rampage. Like Il-nam and In-ho, Ki-hoon puts his ambitions before his family, and those who neglect their loved ones usually come to a sad end and die alone like Il-nam. Considering the mess the MC has made, the chances of him being alive by the end of Season 3 are 0. If Ki-hoon goes down the same path, I think he will suffer the same fate. Since a favorable outcome is unlikely overall, perhaps Ki-hoon and In-ho will sacrifice themselves to destroy the games. And what if Ki-hoon finds out that the Squid Game is actually happening all over the world and not just in Korea? Then we could see a sequel where he becomes a figurehead and travels around the world, destroying such games from the inside. What do you think? How do you think the series should end? Write in the comments. And that's all, friends. If you like this video, don't forget to rate it, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell. Thank you for your attention. See you soon. Bye.